Hey everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching this in the world. I hope you all had a good Easter Sunday as well as April Fool's Monday and got to experience it with friends, family, and did whatever you wanted to do. Take a guess to what you think I'll be talking to you in this video about. And to help you guess, I want to show you some pictures right. The correct guess was that I recently served as an election worker for the first time ever for the 2024 presidential primary election. And I'm going to give you a quick summary of my experience as an election worker, as well as some general information on becoming one. They have either a 4-day or a 10-day vote center assignment work period. The start date to be an election worker for this primary election was on February 24th, and it ran from February 24th till March 5th, 2024. I unfortunately couldn't get that job. They were gracious enough to give me the 4-day work assignment, which is March 2nd to March 5th. And it was 4 miles from where I lived in Sherman Oaks. It was in Valley Village. I didn't even know the place existed until I became an election worker and they assigned me there. It was a Jewish synagogue called Adat Ariel, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I am not Jewish. I learned a lot. I met some great people, and the place was nice. The Jewish people were nice. The building was nice. So why am I telling you about me becoming an election worker? Well, first, I want to remember the first time I actually became an election worker. Number two is I want to inspire you guys to either become election workers or to vote. Because one of the things I learned while I was there is I was talking to a woman named Veronica, and she was one of the field technicians for our vote center. And one day, she and I had a good conversation about how she was explaining how the young people and the old people, they don't vote. It's not their fault, a lot of people don't vote. Which I can understand, because if it doesn't affect your daily life of making money, having a job, or friends, then you're not going to be concerned about voting. But the two examples I learned from talking with that woman are that while you yourself can actually change people's lives for the better, such as if they're being homeless, you can give them your house to stay for a couple of days, and then you can change them so that they can get a job, and then they can eventually get their own place or apartment. You actually cannot change homelessness worldwide. You also don't have a direct say on gas hikes or how much you have to pay on gas. These two reasons are why voting is important, as they have a direct impact on the government and politicians, which then have a direct impact on homelessness or gas hikes or whatever else that you care about that you yourself cannot control. Yeah, that's why I'm making this video, because doing this is actually really fun. Believe it or not, I had a blast. The money isn't ideal compared to the long hours you have to work as an election worker for either the 10 or 4-day work assignments. But the beauty, I think, in being an election worker is that, one, you get to discover a brand new location that you otherwise would not have known if you were not an election worker. Two, you get to make friends with your coworkers if you want the best friends. Three, you get to explore a new city if the vote center you're assigned is in a city you've never heard about. 4, you get to be outdoors if you're a person who likes to be outdoors. 5, you get to make a little bit of extra money comparable to the amount of days you will serve as an election worker. which is ideal for saving it up if you live at home. 6. You get to be more knowledgeable by learning about the voting process. 7. You get to feel proud by contributing to serving your voting county. That's what I enjoyed about becoming an election worker, and I'm sure you all too. If nothing else, you all get to make a little bit of extra money and meet people, so why not? Hey, sorry about this, but I really have to show you this very awesome Jewish song that I heard during the first day of my election worker. And then I'll tell you what the song reminds me of. Yep. It's a band called The Passenger with Ed Sheeran, and it's called Let Her Go. It's the exact same song as that. Don't believe me? Go and check out the song by Passenger and then compare it to this Jewish version of it, and you can't tell me that's not the exact same song. And apologies because I can't upload the Passenger song to YouTube because it will get copyrighted. Now that I talked about my experience and about why you all should vote, let me tell you about the duties of being an election worker, which are actually pretty easy. My chosen role as an election worker for the whole 4 days was as a line clerk, and that's actually the first duty of an election worker. Now, a line clerk is basically a receptionist or a greeter, greeting the voters into the voting booth by saying welcome, answering the questions of the voters if they have any questions regarding voting or their offenders' ballots, directing them to a check-in clerk if they want to vote in person, or if they want to vote by mail, if they have a finished ballot that they want to drop off, then directing them to the drop-off box. That's what a line clerk is. It's not hard. The second duty of an election worker would be the check-in clerk, which is basically like a receptionist as 1. Signing in the voter and making sure that their voter registration personal information matches what they say, and 2. Updating their voter personal information if it needs to be updated with a new address and things like that. And then once either of those options are done, the clerk will then direct the voter on how to complete their ballot. That's all the check-in clerk does. The third job title of an election worker is called Vote Area Clerk. They walk around the BMDs, ballot marking devices, and their job is to assist the voters who currently need help voting with their ballot, which is basically going to range about like increasing the text so that it can be read, increasing the audio so they can hear if they're auditory impaired, letting them use the headphones if they're also visionary impaired, things like that. The fourth and final role of an election worker is provisional or VBM clerk. VBM stands for vote by mail, and it actually ties into the second duties of a line clerk where they direct the voter if they want to vote in person where. If the voter wants to vote in person, regardless if they want to submit their finished ballot in a drop box at the voting center, they can for a number of reasons, which include maybe their finished ballot doesn't have the correct political party they want to vote for. Maybe their finished ballot doesn't list them in the correct county. that the rest of the vote in. Maybe they bubbled in yes and no accidentally for a candidate they were going to vote for. Maybe they just decided that they wanted to vote in person instead of submitting it by Dropbox, etc. So, the line clerk directs them to with the check-in clerk. The check-in clerk lets up their information, their personal information, address, occupation, everything to see if everything is right. Then they can vote. But the only difference is that once they do complete their ballot, it's just going to go into a special envelope that donates that the voter just decided to vote in person rather than submitting their finished ballot, and then it can be dropped off in the Dropbox. And another minor role of a provisional VPM clerk or a line clerk can also do it if the VPM clerk is busy helping another voter, is to hand out these I voted stickers, because who doesn't want to feel appreciated for doing a job well done? But they're totally optional for voters who don't want a I voted sticker. That covers my experience in the roles of being an election worker. I hope this inspired you to become an election worker or vote. Or if it didn't inspire you to do either of these options, then thank you for just stopping by and watching my video about why I decided to become an election worker and what I learned from it. This is very important. The next voting election will be held in November. So if you want to register to vote, then all you have to do is go to the website LA Vote or whichever county you live in, and just register to become an election worker by scrolling down their website, and then you're going to see become an election worker. And it's actually very easy. You just have to click on what election you are planning to serve under, then give your name, where you are, your birth date, all the usual stuff, and then just like that, you're an election worker. Well, they're gonna send you a confirmation about they're currently reviewing your application. But one of my employers actually told me the best way to actually get a job is to just call them. If they don't give you an email back about if you're going to be an election worker or not, then just call them. And then say, my name is, and I actually submitted my interest to be an election worker on that day you submitted your election worker, and I'm wondering if there are still any positions available for me to be an election worker. And that's all you have to do. Who knows? Maybe I'll see you serving with me at a future election. Maybe I won't. I hope you all have a good day, or good evening, good afternoon. Thank you all so much for listening to my story. Alright, see you all later. Hey, it's me again. I just realized I did not show you anything about what a .rem looked like from inside, nor did I show you my coworkers. So, here you go now. Okay, so this is the mobility device. This is for people who have a hard time navigating this by hand. Like if they have a hard time navigating by hand, then they can use this to actually make their selection if they want. And then it has help, volume, up and down, pause. So if people have a problem navigating this through the touchscreen, and if they have a problem like with their hands with mobility, they can use this to navigate this in order to insert their ballot. And it also has Braille right here. So then
whoever puts on the zip ties, please make sure that the asset number is facing this way, because when I come to scan it, it's back, you can't get to it, okay?
yeah. So this is Braille. It has Braille for whoever is visionary impaired. They can use this to see what this is. Like if they understand Braille, then they'll know that this is right. This is to increase the rate, which is the speed, like text. This is for pause. This is for help. And this is for volume. If they can't hear properly, or if the audio is too low, then they can increase this for the volume. And then they use this if they are like, if they can't hear properly, then they would use this to actually, they will put on the headphones, and then it will talk to you about the ballot, about who you're voting for, so then you can hear it easily in your ear. So this is for if they're like visionary or like mobility impaired. Visionary as in they can't see well. So then, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, you guys hear that? Yeah.
To hear the next language, press the down arrow. Insert your ballot. Insert your ballot into the paper tray to your right. On your ballot, one corner has been cut off. Hold your ballot with the cut corner at the top right and insert it into the paper tray until it gets pulled inside.
Yeah, so you insert your ballot after you're done completing, and then the ballot goes down here. And it makes it easy to connect afterwards. At the end of the day.
Choose your language on the touch screen or press the round button on the controller.
So I hope this helps.